Everyone, I just want to call the meeting to order for the Board of Water and Wastewater Commissioners at the Harwich Water Department, 196 Chatham Road, Harwich, Mass. Thursday, January 4th, 2024, at 11:30 a.m. We have no executive session, no public comments or announcements, and we have a consent agenda for the minutes from November 2nd, November 16th, and the December 7th of 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the minutes of November 2nd, November 16th, and December 7th of 2023 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a quick one.
Yep.
On November 2nd, on page 2, under, I think it's 2, under Water and Wastewater Capital Plan, in the last paragraph, the last sentence says, Vice Chair Thompson and Commissioner Goff will attend, blah, blah, blah. It was actually me, so it's Vice Chair Donahue.
Okay. I can edit that.
Okay.
So,
I have them on another one.
okay.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't print it.
Do you want?
No, that's all right. I think it was on the December 7th minutes. Let me look real quick. There was a line I put in there that I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with. It is on the December 7th. It's on the second page, and it's under wastewater budget at the top.
Okay.
And I don't know, where it says that, if, I asked if the finance director had enterprise experience, I've since looked it up and she has extensive enterprise. Yeah, I just don't want to give somebody the wrong impression, that I was questioning. It was just a comment, really. The part about the strict rules regarding, maybe if it just has a period at and asked if, that, and then cross out superintendent did not know.
Okay.
Perfect.
So a motion to approve the minutes as amended. Second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. No abatements, old business, town report.
The town report is due to be submitted tomorrow by end of day. So I put an updated version in the packet that I believe is up to date, barring any edits or suggestions the board may have. And if you haven't had a time to go.
I have not had time to go through it.
I glanced, but I haven't,
A lot of it's the, standard canned language that we keep in there. The big stuff that's updated annually is
Right.
project's accomplishments. The first paragraph on the water sewer rates and financial overview. Capital plan was updated to reflect the newly adopted plan. Those are the big areas.
silly thing, but on my name at the end, will you make me vice chair, not chairman?
Absolutely.
Thank you, dear. I don't want to send any messages. I better be quiet.
I didn't realize I was the clerk either.
Congratulations, Alan. All right.
Yeah,
Any-
that's right, Alan. So that'll be a town meeting, we get to see that.
Anything about the town report? If anybody had a chance to look at it.
If you take a look after the meeting and want to shoot me anything before end of day tomorrow.
The only thing I have is, I didn't realize that we were replacing meters every 15 years.
You what?
It's,
Yeah.
we
We
try.
never used to.
We try.
Yeah, that was good.
We have a pretty big backlog.
I would make just one little comment. On page 4, where you have water withdrawal, I always think it's nice for the layperson after you put, that we pumped 800 million gallons, maybe you put the previous year, 22, was 700 million or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know, just to give them a context of,
X gallons more or less than
Yeah.
22.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good idea.
yeah, to me, when you say 800 million, I'm like, is that a lot? Is that a little? Is that a, what is it?
Yeah.
That's all.
Good point.
That I can do.
Okay.
Could you do a little graph like that? Do you have that? Oh, if you can, whatever. No pressure. All right, anything else?
It's in,
That's all right, even if you just, a second, whatever.
All right,
Okay.
all right. FY '25 water and wastewater operating budgets.
all right. Let's start with the wastewater, if that's all right, because it's the easiest.
That's the easy one.
Mess us
Yeah.
up.
I reached out again to Chatham, and I am expecting today to receive a copy of their FY '25 budget. So while this one presented in the packet is consistent with previous versions, I am expecting the next one to actually be, hopefully final draft one.
Dan, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Is there a problem with the printer?
Yes.
I thought you bought a new one.
No, we put money in next year's budget for the printer.
Oh, perfect. 'Cause I thought I was seeing double.
Glad you brought that up.
Okay, that's all right. This could be my glasses.
No, yeah, that's what you're saying.
That's not just me.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it is. It's bleeding.
all right. So OFIS, we do an OFIS. No, it's not, I'm thinking of something else.
For wastewater?
Oh, I'm thinking of OPED, never mind, OPED, never mind.
So, this is too early for us to be talking about using any of our retained earnings for,
Yeah, I would say.
yeah, I would too. So this is just purely the total minus projected revenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Big change, you'll see, again, with the wastewater budget, we were instructed by the finance director to zero out the indirects for the wastewater budget. Beyond that, we'd also shifted, there was a resolution to the grievance that was outstanding, so we had adjusted salaries and wages for administrative staff relative to the MOU. So the salary line did go up since the last time we met, just to reflect.
So, in this 200,000 is a portion of you,
Yeah,
the
50% of me.
50% of you, 100% of the assistant wastewater whenever they come,
Yeah,
and a small portion of the admin staff?
as well as a couple of the distribution staff for meter reading, things like that.
Okay. And that, just for our understanding, that will go through the out-of-grade process for the admin staff.
Yeah, well, that is what, yeah, so
Right,
there's an out-of-grade resolution to the grievance.
Right.
And we are taking that out-of-grade amount and charging that directly to the sewer operating budget,
Right.
as well as the 10% that was previously accounted for the split of
Yeah.
duties.
I just smile for a minute, because I'm remembering last June 28th, when I said, we have the money, we can do this within ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't need to get permission for
Yeah.
that. Okay, 8 months later, we're doing what we said.
Yes. Also, we did shift half of the elected official salaries to the sewer as well.
Dan, what do you mean about, reading meters? Who's in the department reading meters?
So when we go out, to generate the sewer bill, for example, Mike or Dan would go out and do the meter reading. we have about 5% of the sewer customers that we do water customers. So we're billing 5% of their salary to the sewer to cover the sewer-related accounts.
So water department employees are doing wastewater department work.
It's not necessarily wastewater work. They have to read the same meter for the water, but we're taking the financial burden off of the water. I guess, I wouldn't say they would have to read the meter anyway, right? We can't bill the water without reading the same meter.
Okay, so it's one meter.
It's one meter.
Okay.
The exception is if they're sewer deduct meters. But again, where our meter reading technology is drive-by, if you have your water meter and then a sewer deduct meter for irrigation next to it, there's no additional work or skin off the back of the water employee.
Okay.
But this is just a way to keep the finances equitable. in
Well,
my
plus
opinion.
it's a way to acknowledge it too, which is,
Right.
No, I know, I just want it to be known that there is work in the wastewater department that's being done,
Yeah,
other than Weston and Sampson, that we are doing
Right.
work here
right.
that, has to be done, and we are doing it, so just
Yes.
want that acknowledged that. Okay.
Appreciate that. Also, big one for the wastewater budget, as directed by the finance director, we have removed the debt from the wastewater budget.
Why?
Her reason, her justification was, we're moving money from the general fund to the sewer enterprise fund, only to move it back to the general fund to pay
Okay.
the debt. But I think a more important acknowledgement is that the debt that exists for the wastewater is not debt of the wastewater department, debt of the general fund and the select board. So, looking back in retrospect, I kind of think it probably never should have been
Right, I agree.
within our budget, because it was never our debt burden to carry.
Okay,
So I'm good with that one.
okay.
Yeah, so it ends up being all general fund subsidy, right? 567, 482.
Yeah.
So in this budget that we're looking at, what our question marks are as far as what's being, or how it's being handled?
Question marks as far as what figures are gonna be changing?
Yeah.
So the professional architectural engineering services,
Yeah.
that 385, that is the big item that's going to change. That
Okay.
is what contains all of our Chatham-related costs.
when is your, drop dead date to,
I think it was December 5th,
I know, yeah, so,
but there's,
yep. New people everywhere.
yeah. So that's wastewater.
All right.
On to water. A few minor changes, some bigger than others. I think we have indirects on here as a standalone topic, and
Yep.
so we can wait to cover that. Big changes on this one, we changed the bulk fuel, which is on the second
Front page.
front page, about 2/3 of the way down.
Yeah.
We updated that based on actuals. We overran last year and caught it, so we moved that up. Sandy had also put in the debt figures for the Route 28 project. What I would say also in relation to another pending agenda item is that I do anticipate those figures are going to go down probably quite a bit.
Where's that, Dan?
The last, second, hold on.
Second page.
Yeah, second page, the last three on the top.
Yes. Yep, got it.
So right now, we're looking at 1.56 million in debt. And I guess if I can jump ahead slightly to the Route 28 project update. In the packet is an updated cost estimate for the portion of the project between the Dennis Town Line and Heron River, which, if we combine the 50% design cost that we had last summer when Nancy had come in and did the PowerPoint presentation, that section of the project was 9.7 million. And now that we've gone through the DOT collaborative process and used all of the pricing templates, the most updated cost estimate for both water and sewer on that portion of the project was $2.63 million.
Wow.
So I would argue that GHD was high in their initial cost estimate, but if that portion of the project's dropping that significantly, I am awaiting updated cost estimate for the other phase, which GHD is currently working on. And then we're gonna go back to the bonding company to rerun the debt figures, at which point I'll be bringing back to update that figure.
Wow.
So, a lot of moving parts, but I think in the end of the day, we're gonna be in much better shape than what this is reflecting.
Glad to hear that. That's a change.
Yeah.
Are we good so far? Everyone good?
I am good. I wish Sandy was here, because she had the specific notes on what we had adjusted between the last budget and this one. I believe it was just those items.
Now the terrible page.
So we want to jump to indirects?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so after much back and forth with the finance department, this set of indirect expense figures was provided on last week and reflects an 8% increase year over year from 24 to 25. Biggest portions of increase are contributions to finance accounting, treasurer's office, property liability insurance, and then we have, that's pretty much, those are the big ones.
So why we up $12,000 for treasurer collector?
I think it's part of a bigger discussion that needs to be had. I mean, I've been pushing back on these figures under the basis that we have not changed anything that we do from a billing finance perspective. We will have a borrowing for the Route 28 water project, so there will be some additional workload on the treasurer collector. I don't know how much of that is anticipated, how much of that 12,000 is attributed to that Route 28 borrowing. But beyond that one project, we don't have anything else.
I know the town has changed their billing service.
And from what I understand, there's been a lot of turnover in town hall, right? And at the end of the day, the department isn't operating as efficiently as we experienced with the water bill payment processing back over the summer. We couldn't issue late fees. That's all, I would argue, part of the full discussion. So I think where everyone with, history in that department turned over, now we have new people in there, they're learning how to do their jobs, things are taking longer than they used to, I think is the basis for it. I don't agree that is our
So
responsibility.
why are we paying for the inefficiencies there?
I agree.
Because nothing has changed here as far as billing. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
Did postage stamps go up in price? Noreen, you have a question?
Yes. So I'm going to come at it a little different angle, but same topic. I went through the notes from the finance director, and she does refer to something I'm not familiar with, which is the methodology developed supposedly in 2016. And again, I would have to dig out that document or have her supply it, but what I'm really saying is, if we're changing our methodology, we being the town, if we're changing our methodology, whether it be going back to some policy of 2016 that wasn't used for 8 years, or whether it be going to some new policy that hasn't been written, then I truly believe that that's a discussion that should be had between the finance director and the board. Because if it's a major change in methodology up there that affects our customers and our rates and our expenses, I don't see how we can just sit idly by and say, sure, fine, whatever you want.
Well, the thing of it is, from the way it looks, is that if you have any source of revenue, it seems like Town Hall wants to charge and get a piece of that revenue, and as well as the tax rate. I just am bothered by the whole thing.
Yeah.
And how about finance accounting? What's that charge for, the increase in that? What's being done differently?
Again, I can't, beyond, I didn't want to include all the emails back and forth, but I can certainly share them.
Well, I think it's worth having the finance director come in and explain that, because the $12,000, I mean, I get the health insurance, I get the retirement, I get the liability insurance, those I get. Those are out of our control. But I don't understand, we worked hard to get these charges reasonable, and now it seems as though they're just starting to increase again. And I don't understand these charges. What's changed?
I also took issue with the property and vehicle insurance, to be quite honest. Initially, it was at, I think, 28% or 25%. Reason given to me was that we were purchasing 2 new vehicles. But I've purchased vehicles numerous times in the last 8 years that I've been here, and we've never seen an increase of 20+% as a result.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about property and liability insurance?
Yeah.
Particularly property. Well, I agree with you with cars as well, but property is...
We didn't increase our valuations or ask for any change in our coverage when we did our annual insurance review. So that shouldn't have gone up. At least, in my opinion, 15%. But I would also say that the formulas here, if you go back in the workbook and look at prior year calculations of indirects, for example, the property and vehicle insurance was actually appeared to be a calculation based on the valuation of the assets. This year just reflects a blanket percentage increase,
Right.
which I would, to your point, seems like a change in methodology.
One thing that throws me the other way, though, is the totals, from, all right, 24 to 25 for this list, up 67,000. But actually, the year before was up about 60,000 anyway. So that kind of throws me off,
Right.
To see a $10,000 increase in 1 year.
Right, but given those big ones, I would have thought it would have been, even more,
Well, I would like to reach out to the finance director and ask her to come in to explain these, because I don't understand the $67,000. When does it have to be due by?
Well, the budgets were technically due, I think, December 5th, I thought.
When do we just got this now?
Yeah. So we're we're into it at this point.
So we're on the hook for this, whether we agree with it or
No,
not?
I mean, I don't know
No,
that
I
that's,
mean, we can always amend this,
Right.
you know. I mean, I think it's definitely a reason to have a conversation.
Yeah,
To let it go, and it just keeps going.
no, that's what happened last time,
You
so
know.
no.
Just seems like, you know, there's money flowing and they want it, you know.
Maureen?
The other piece of this for us to do is, when I heard there were some changes, I looked up some of the rules in the enterprise funds, and they said that they super highly recommend, and we really should have our own policy on indirect expenses. So I think maybe that's something we should think about writing this year, a written policy on indirects, so that when we resolve this with the finance director and going forward, you know, like, they have these rules, well, we have our own rules, you
Right,
know,
yeah,
about,
yeah.
so I hope we can,
Yeah, absolutely, that's a priority.
yeah.
So would you like to extend the invitation? Do you want me to extend the invitation?
I don't know. Maybe
I think we
I'll
should.
extend the invitation.
certainly can.
I'm happy to do it. All right.
What's this other page?
Detail sheet. Is that the expense budget? I think what you're looking at is the expense budget with notes. So it's,
For expense budget for,
I think, I believe that one's water. I'm trying to find the same page. What's the account number at the top? Is it like 4502?
communication,
Yeah, that's water.
okay.
So that is a duplicate of this one, but just has the notes as to how the comments as to how the line items were adjusted.
I'm so sorry. So this one, I don't see where it starts, 534, 300, where?
So like this is, where's communication starter? So
Okay.
that's page 2. So communication, and those are just the comments, so it goes from there down.
Okay.
There must be a page 1 in there somewhere. Right there.
So this is water. Oh, okay. Okay, now we're getting there. All right. I see. I got thrown off by the indirects. Sorry.
Everyone good with the water and wastewater operating budget? All right, new business, new source exploration update.
All right, they have been working out in North Harwich. They finished installing the 8-inch diameter test well first week of December. They were out the week before Christmas installing level transducers to monitor the groundwater levels. And they're back on site this week to develop the 8-inch test well. They'll be coming back in February to install some more observation wells, and I believe we'll be sometime shortly after that starting the prolonged pump test.
All right. And where is this located again, for the people at home?
North Harwich, Northwest Gate Road.
Okay. Route 28 water and sewer project update.
So I touched on this a little in the budget discussion, but I did include in the packet the updated 75% construction cost estimate that was provided with DOT. And that's the 2.63 million. Which is great.
Yes, yeah, that's great.
And what was it before?
9.7,
What was it?
9.7.
Serious?
So we had appropriated, and that was base bid plus contingency plus construction oversight, right? So I believe a portion of the savings is gonna be, but we don't have to pay for our own construction oversight for this part of the project, because DOT is gonna pick up a portion of that. But there was $6.5 million for the sewer project and $15 million for the water project. I looked back at the old presentation to try and break up how much of that 15 was just in this, and it was 3.2. So the total combined was 9.7 down to 2.63. Now, let's call it 275, or let's call it 3, just because there's probably gonna be some other incidentals that come
Three
into
still better
play.
than 9.
But
Okay.
hit me.
So the water side was 9.7,
No, sorry, total water and sewer together was
was 9.7. And that included the 6.5
for the sewer,
plus,
3.2 for the water.
okay. And the 3.2 is now down to 2.6.
The 9.7, the combined total is now down to 2.6.
So that's gonna help everything.
Yeah.
Even our water side, it'll help
Yeah.
about $500,000. That's really good.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm anxiously awaiting the updated cash flow information. So looking forward to see. That's an updated cost estimate for the second
Oh,
phase.
So we're on track then for the Route 28 project. You have everything you need.
No.
What are we missing?
So, what are we missing?
What's missing? What do we need?
Can't borrow.
So,
What's missing?
we have a document that was provided by bond counsel that details a whole bunch of what they refer to as legal requirements needed to borrow. Some of those include, I had to submit a form just stating that the water department is owned and operated by the town of Harwich. We're not contract operations. I do the same thing for sewer. I have to provide cash flow schedules for the projects, because they may not, the projects, say 10 million, they don't borrow all 10 million of it right now. If we only need 3 million this year, they'll only borrow 3 this
Okay.
year. So I have to prepare all the cash flow schedules. GHD is doing it, I'm not doing it. And those are the items that we have to furnish. And I think there's one other loan commitment letter that is provided ultimately through SRF that we will route back to the bond advisors. There's also a whole host of other borrowing-related items for other town projects. I don't know the details of all of them. And there are also other items that we have to furnish. One is an audit of the 2023 financials of the town, either independent or in-house, I believe is sufficient. And there's a couple other, I don't know the full list,
Okay.
but I know what I owe, and I know that there are other things that other people owe that do have potential to hold the project up, which is ultimately happening right now. So, in the conversations I've had and meetings with the bond advisors and the finance department, they are advising that they may not be ready to borrow until June. Now, one of the problems with that is that for the Route 28 project, we were intending to purchase the insertion valve machine so that we could go out and install the insertion valves so that we could get good shutdowns. So when the contractor
Right, I remember
comes
that,
in, we can't buy that machine until the town is capable and has submitted all the legal requirements to borrow.
So where are we with that?
I'm meeting tomorrow morning with GHD. I'll be getting an update on the status of the cash flow.
Who's responsible to get the paperwork turned in?
Technically, I believe it's the treasurer collector who
Are
the
they
position is
aware?
vacant.
So who's filling in for that
So
position?
the finance director has been trying to spearhead these efforts.
Is the finance director aware that this paperwork needs to be turned in so we can
Yes.
put? And what's the response to that?
We may need to explore other funding sources if you need to do this before June. And there are bigger implications, which I'm trying to work through, because we have a lot that needs to be done before June, and things that have already started that have financial, like Coldbrook is another project that is approved, construction started, but they haven't filed the money yet.
On Bay Street?
Behind, yeah, Banquet
Yeah,
Road, yeah.
the fire museum folks.
Yeah.
Do you have a question on that?
Yes.
Please.
Thank you. So, I mean, just sitting from the outside, it doesn't sound like the books are closed. I can't possibly imagine even an internal audit being done for a couple of months. You know, so as bothered as we are by that, we need to accept it. So, my question would be, for the insertion valve, now, this is going to be a layman's question, so don't laugh, but, I mean, this is nothing that you can rent and then replace with one owned, or,
I don't know if they have, I don't know, and how that would work procurement-wise from, you know, because I have to bid, because it's, the machine itself is over 50,000, I have to do a sealed bid. And I don't know how that, I don't know how I would structure that from like a.
no, I'm just trying to think of other sources, and I'm not sure if they cut back what the finance committee has. They used to have 65 grand or 130 grand or whatever for emergencies. I mean, we've got to start to think about other sources, you know. I don't know if there's any way to get at our own retained earnings other than a town meeting.
Yeah, so I would say for the insertion valve, I don't know if I don't know, I don't have all the information for me to want to pursue that yet, only because you know, we have to submit, or we are submitting the design plans to DOT this month with the intention of them sending them back with comments by February, March. If in that deliberation they say, you know, we get the plans back in February, March, they got to make some edits, now we're bidding May, June, we can't cut the road until, we can't do the road, we can't shut 28 down between June and September. So if, depending on how things work out with DOT and the overall project schedule, the insertion valve is not necessarily the biggest of my concerns, and although it shouldn't be, Coldbrook is a big one, and potential impacts to our ability to bid and award phase 3. If we don't satisfy all of these legal requirements and get everything tied up, I don't know, and I have asked that question this morning, you know, and she had reached back out to everybody and said, hey, can we all meet Monday or Tuesday next week to, you know, sit down and discuss, so I'll hopefully have some more information. But my bigger concern is, you know, what happens to phase 3 if we can't borrow until June, we have to have this contract signed by June 30th.
Maybe the meeting should be held between our board, the select board, and the finance director, because is the select board aware of where we're at?
I do not know.
Maureen?
Maybe we need to get in touch with our liaison and tell him that we suggest they hire an independent person to do an internal audit for us, and that they start that immediately, because that's going to take some time, and if we've got the one person, our new finance director, who's trying to do X, Y, and Z, at least an independent person, and cost means nothing, because the difference in monies we're going to make on borrowing to have things done properly is ginormous.
I would say this discussion has been taking place and evolving over the last, you know, several weeks.
Right.
I did have a meeting with the town administrator Tuesday, right, it was holiday Monday, yeah, Tuesday. I did discuss this with him. He and I did just, you know, and the email I sent yesterday or this morning was the email that he and I discussed sending to pull this meeting together to get everybody at the table to, you know, see where we land. So we're in the process of trying to get to something. And so I don't know if we need to pull everybody in yet. Maybe we get through the meeting on Monday or Tuesday of next week, but I will be the first to scream at the mountaintop if I think this wastewater.
Who's meeting next Monday, Tuesday? Is the selectmen?
The finance director had reached out in that email chain that I've been referring to, myself, town administrator, Sandy in our office, other people in finance office, the consultant who is currently supporting the finance office. So we're working on an all-hands meeting beginning of next week.
Do you know the name of that consultant?
The company or the person?
Both.
Her name is Andrea Turkelson. I don't know the name of the company.
Do you think it's Sullivan and Rogers? Doesn't matter.
So who's having this meeting next Monday, Tuesday? Where is it?
The email came out this morning. Hey, can you respond to your availability early next week so we can iron something out?
Well, maybe the very least we do is we ask our liaison to come to the next meeting of us, so that whatever comes out of that meeting, in case nothing comes out of it, so that we have something in plan to go forward.
Yeah.
Time just goes by too fast.
I know, it'll be the end of January, and at
I'm
least...
still waiting on the appraisals for the wastewater land acquisitions. The appraiser emailed me a couple days before Christmas and said, Harwich is the first thing on my list when I get back from holiday, but I'm still anxiously awaiting that document. But
I mean, I think that this board should communicate with our liaison per the new, going through them things anyway, directly, other than through Dan.
That whole itemized sheet that you had printed up several weeks ago, is all of this on that?
no, I didn't know about all the legal requirements at that point in time.
Okay.
You were happily in blissful
Yes,
ignorance.
blissful, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You didn't have
I
to.
don't know what I don't know until I know I don't know it.
Okay.
All right.
But feverishly working to try to get and keep things on track.
All right. FY25 indirect expenses.
Yeah, we're good there, I think.
Yep.
Well, I have one question I forgot to ask. In your emails, could you ask the finance director for these documents? It says methodology of indirect charges adopted for FY 2016.
I believe that the methodology is the bullets beneath it.
The
So,
bullets.
beneath it on that sheet.
Oh, okay.
And when I go back,
Does it make sense?
yeah, go
that's all
back
right.
into time, that's,
Yeah. Okay, never mind then. We have enough paper.
All right. I'm sorry, not FY. 2023 campaign finance reporting.
Well, I asked that this go on the agenda, but we don't need to look at this form. It was just Gary that, we all got the email, but it was new to me. So when they talked about signing a roster, I didn't know what they were talking about. So it was really just to go up and make sure people knew. So John, go up here and sign away, town clerk.
Well, I gotta do that finance thing.
Why?
Alan had to do the same thing, right?
I
The
did.
finance thing? The election finance, you had to,
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I actually did it on the end of December, I forgot. And I did it again.
Yeah, oh,
And when
okay.
I went up there and said, oh, you already did it.
I'll just go say, yeah.
Can you guys tell me what you're talking about? Because I have no idea
This
what
thing.
you're
This
talking about.
forms right here in the packet. They're in.
Yeah, but why did you do it? I mean, I'm not,
I just got reelected.
right.
Me too.
So this was obviously, to finalize any of the documents or requirements that needed to be turned in or update the final year of.
When I got elected, I did not fill out anything like this.
So, but did you have a campaign committee?
No, I did not.
Did you have like a account with funds?
No.
Neither did I, so that's why,
And I didn't either.
yeah,
So I just filled in the form, put all zeros and
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
yeah.
Okay.
signed it and it's done.
So you had nobody contributed to
No.
the campaign,
No.
so that's basically all,
So-
that's what all that,
Yeah.
if you
Right,
did, you obviously have that filled out. but
The most
you-
important,
okay,
the most important part of that whole thing is the first page.
right.
Fill that in, 00, the whole thing, and sign it and drop it off at the clerk's office.
Right, but I'm just trying to understand. See, when I spoke to Emily, I was told if I didn't spend any money, then all I did was sign the roster.
Yes, that's what I did, I signed the roster.
Right, so
Oh,
no,
so
I
you don't
don't
need-
have to do
I
that.
actually signed that document in December 27th. So when I did it again, I forgot I had done it, and I took it up this morning. Said, oh, you already did this. Sort of gave me all the paperwork back.
So when you originally ran, you didn't fill it out, put all zeros here?
Yeah.
You did do that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, I did, when I ran. Because I didn't have a campaign manager, I didn't have an account.
Right.
I didn't have any contributions.
Yeah.
It was all out of my pocket,
So you
all
turned,
dedication,
so you turned this in.
with all zeros. I just put a
Yeah.
big zero and a line through it.
And yours should be the same thing. You didn't raise any money.
Yeah.
No, believe me, I did the campaign financing for the Cape Cod Tech when they were remodeling, and I had to deal with 15 towns. So when I see this form, like I get scared, it was a rough
Yeah.
experience doing that. Huh?
No, that's, yeah.
Just put
Yeah, I
zeros
mean,
and
that's-
sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think I.
Actually, where you didn't have any money or did anything financial, you just need the first page.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else.
I give up. Emily says you don't need this thing, and you say you do, I just give
Yeah,
up.
last time when I did it, all I had to do was sign. That's the first time I was elected.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, so,
I'm-
No, I didn't never sign
I'm
anything.
sure the roster is a belt and this is suspenders. You know what I mean? If
well,
you,
the thing where I had, I didn't have any committee and I didn't raise any money, any of those things. It just.
I had such a bad experience with the Cape Cod Tech work that if I had to spend $10,000, I wouldn't have a committee. That's how scarred I was from the process I had to go through by being a nice volunteer to help out the Cape Cod Tech. And the government had my social security number, and they kept haunting me. I had to come back early from Florida to turn something in. It was a nightmare, so
I'm sorry, Maureen, I did not sign this. This is not the same paperwork.
thank God, yeah.
This is not the
Oh,
same
my
paperwork.
God.
I looked at it really quick, this isn't the same paperwork.
Yeah,
This is obviously, as you know, specifically for
Right.
donations.
Yeah.
What I signed was name,
yeah.
how much you have in your account. It was very,
Okay.
very
Yeah,
less than all this stuff. But
Yeah,
I know,
me too.
I know it was just zeros, because I didn't have it, yeah, it was not this format at all.
okay, thank God. All right.
Yeah.
But you signed something
Like I
though,
said,
right? When you went to town hall to take out your papers?
No.
When it was all done?
No, nobody ever told me to.
Yeah, I know, well, I know I signed something, but I can't remember.
So like I said, I just.
How many you were sworn in? But I remember we were all in the
Yeah,
Griffin at
I
the same
remember
time.
we were there too. I can't say for sure, because
It
when
was a
they
year
give,
ago.
when they
Yeah.
give you those
Oh, 2 years ago.
packages,
Yeah,
you sign a lot of stuff and you
yeah,
forget
it was
about
2 years
it,
ago, so.
Yeah, all right, I'm clear on
I'll
that.
see you out there on the, maybe.
On the
We'll see.
campaign trail?
Well, maybe, we'll see.
You better.
All right, draft intended use plan.
so this is the clean water, or better known sewer, clean water trust, I hate how they call it sewer, the clean water trust, but this list was just published We had to resubmit for the Route 28 sewer project for this funding cycle because DOT pushed out the start date for the Route 28 project beyond the June 30th deadline of last year's funding round. So just wanted to provide a quick update that the new list was released and we are still up at the top. Okay. On the list. And that's the 6.5 that is now 2.3.
I'm not certainly gonna complain. All right. Yeah, I think that's a win. Correspondence. Superintendent's report.
The Board of Health, we had pushed off the joint meeting that we had discussed about for December. So I talked with Sharon this morning. They are meeting on January 17th and have requested our attendance.
And
have
it's
that.
the Wednesday.
Yeah.
not
At
the-
6:30
17th, 6:30.
is what I have.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's at the town hall?
Yes, I believe the Griffin Room, and the purpose is to discuss extensions to the order to connect.
Okay.
I think that's-
January 17th at 6:30.
Yes. Unless that changes. But that's what I am.
So they moved it out because of the holiday. That's what I couldn't figure out, because it messes all the rooms up, so I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out how they were doing it, but I guess they are.
Is that then?
Yes.
Commissioners report. Mr. Thompson, do you have anything?
Oh,
No.
Oh,
wait,
hold on.
maybe it didn't make it in. Those, well,
I think they're more under correspondence.
They're in
I
there
think the public ones,
at the back.
very last two pages.
I know, I mixed all my packets.
That's what I did.
I did want to put in the packet for your, an update as to where we're at, groundwater wise. The Drought Task Force did declare a drought for the Cape and Islands, I think last month. We are actually in worse shape than we were this time last year. So, you know, the cover sheet here, we are the blue line, the rust brownish colored one is last year's data, and the average is the gray one on the top. I also included a January 2002 to present history of groundwater level in the aquifer. So we are, you know, at the lowest point in the last 20 years. But 20 years ago, we were way lower.
So we're the same as we were last year
Yeah, slightly below.
at this time?
Yeah. But last year, you see, we were already starting to tick up at this point, and we're still just leveling off.
Noreen?
So this concerns me because, well, not just because it's low, but also because of perception. I mean, I felt like last year was the rainiest year in 30 years to me and to everybody else.
But it was during,
I understand it didn't recharge, but what I'm wondering, because this could really cause some confusion among the public, and I'm wondering if we could get Bill Galvin to write an article about it, or something like that, to get the word out that says, you know, you thought you had more rain than you ever thought in a million years, but guess what? You know, we might still be facing some problems in the spring. Just an idea.
yeah, I would say not a bad idea, but maybe a little early.
Yeah.
Because this is
Yeah,
right around that
Yeah, no,
time where we
yeah.
start to tick up, but
But I think we should, before we just
if we're
set
getting into March
restrictions.
and we don't see this
Right.
line go dramatically upward, I think,
Well, we get some snow this weekend, so that should help.
like,
might not even get snow.
I tell you, I mean, we can't keep building the way we're building.
Can't keep going, what, dear?
Building. So we,
And lawns, we can't keep going with irrigation and lawns.
everything.
Well, that's the end of the day, there is an abundance of water to drink.
Right,
There just may not be enough to make your lawn green.
right.
But until,
But even the water to drink, at some point, you know, you just can't keep building. Can't keep filling every space. But anyway. That's for another day.
All right, so, Mr. Thompson, you have anything for Commissioner's report?
I'm good.
Ms. Donahue?
Fine.
Mr. Goff?
Nope.
So you got the health department one comment. How about the assistant wastewater superintendent position? Where are we?
it is currently advertised, we've only received one applicant so far,
In-house, or is that,
out of house.
no, it's out-house, okay. Okay. And then my other question was the joint meeting with the select board. We canceled that prior to the new year. I was wondering what the discussion should be about, but I have a pretty good understanding what it should be now. So I'll reach out to Julie and see if we can set up a joint meeting with them. And I'll let you know about that.
For what purpose? Did you?
A meeting with the, about the indirects.
Okay.
All right, so next meeting would be the 18th, if that works for everybody.
You guys are going away the next day or two, does
Yeah.
that bother you?
17th or 18th?
18th.
18th of January?
Yes.
So we'll have back-to-back meetings then.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, yeah, it was 17th. Yeah. Hang on a second. Do we have anything,
You wanna go out to the 25th?
25th?
I'm out of town.
Oh, I can't do 25th either. Are you out of town all week?
Well, I mean, Tuesday I'm open, but that's,
24th?
no, I'm not. On a plane. You
Can't
don't
do
need me though.
Of course we do. That's the 25th, I can't do that. 26th. 26th.
I mean, I am taking a bus that afternoon, the 24th. I could try to make it, but I'd rather not. I'll really mess myself up.
Yeah, don't worry about it,
Yeah.
don't worry about
Worry about getting to your vacation.
Right.
it. I can't do the 25th anyway. So the 18th wasn't good,
No,
because we're gonna be there for the 17th, it doesn't work for
Yeah.
Alan.
The 23rd?
I can't make it.
Can we do the 23rd?
I can do the 23rd.
23rd? All right,
23rd?
23rd.
So that's Tuesday, the 23rd.
11:30, right?
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right, I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. So next time